We're also following some breaking news in Baltimore, where Kilmar Abrego Garcia has once again become a test case for the Trump administration's rushed and ruthless immigration actions. Abrego is now back in ICE custody after checking in with immigration authorities in Baltimore, just days after he was released from federal custody and reunited with his family. A brief resolution to a months-long battle that saw him erroneously sent to a brutal prison in El Salvador. Now the administration says they will deport him to Uganda this week. A short time ago at this rally with his wife, a congressman, his lawyer, and immigration activists, Abrego got emotional, speaking about his family and the fight ahead.
Momentos de ir al parque, de ir al trampolín con mis hijos.
When I was detained, I remembered memories with my family, going to the park with them, going to the trampoline with my children.
Esos momentos me darán fuerzas y esperanza para seguir luchando.
Those moments will continue to give me hope to continue in this fight.
NBC News legal affairs reporter Gary Grumbach is on the scene in Baltimore, and also with us, NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley and Democracy Forward president and CEO Skye Perryman. Gary, set the scene for us after this rally this morning. Abrego now back in ICE custody. What could happen next?
Yeah, community members gathered alongside Kilmar Abrego Garcia and his family as he spoke those words. He then walked up these steps into this door, into an ICE appointment on the 6th floor of this building, and he was taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. About a half hour after that, his attorney came out and spoke to reporters, saying he got very little information when asking questions to the ICE officers there on the 6th floor, saying they asked, where is he going to be detained? No answer to that. Why is he being detained? No answer to that. No answer to even if they get paperwork about his detainment inside ICE custody now. So this is all part of a plea deal that we've seen try to come to fruition over the past few days between the Department of Justice and Abrego Garcia's team. There were several options that were on the table. One involved pleading guilty to the charges against him in Tennessee, then serving time in Tennessee, and then being deported to Costa Rica, where he would be considered a refugee and be able to go free. That seems like it's off the table at this point because of this Uganda situation, where he may be deported to Uganda as soon as Wednesday afternoon. His attorneys are fighting this tooth and nail. They've already filed a lawsuit. Here's what Congressman Glenn Ivey had to say about this whole situation.
In the last 5 minutes, Mr. Abrego Garcia has filed a new lawsuit in the Federal District Court for the District of Maryland, challenging his current confinement and challenging deportation to Uganda or to any other country unless and until he's had a fair trial as in an immigration court, as well as his full appeal rights.
And that was his attorney, Simon Sandoval Moshenberg, here on the steps of this. Congressman Glenn Ivey was saying earlier today that he believes this should never have happened. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he believes, should be at home with his family right now. Anna?
And so, Skye, the clock's ticking for Abrego's legal team. We heard that they've now filed this new lawsuit. What options do they have to either block this deportation or at least pause it?
You know, I think they're going to fight on all fronts, as you see, and we are going to have to rely on the courts here. The important thing for every American, though, to understand as we see legal battle after legal battle is this is what happens. This is the calamity that happens when people in this country are deprived of due process. And you have Mr. Garcia being deprived of due process. And then today, when he showed up in order to follow through with process, he, of course, was taken into ICE custody, which is what this administration and what ICE has been doing to individuals who are trying to work within our systems and go through the lawful options that they have. And so this is very concerning, not just for Mr. Garcia and his legal team, but for every single American in this country. And I think you see the American people seeing through what is happening, saying, we are all Kilmar. That's what you heard outside the courthouse steps today.
I want to play more from Abrego's lawyer characterizing this Uganda decision over the weekend. Let's watch.
As Kilmar Abrego Garcia was leaving the jail in Tennessee and was in his car on the way up to Maryland, the government designated Uganda as the country of removal. It is preposterous that they would send him to Africa, to a country where he doesn't even speak the language, a country with documented human rights violations, when there are so many other options. This family suffered enough.
Julia, how is it decided where to send someone? Why is this administration just so eager to send Central American and South American immigrants to Uganda?
Well, we're in uncharted territory here, Anna, both in terms of this case and where it's going, as well as these policies that the Trump administration has put in place to send people who were previously ordered not to be removed to their home countries to third countries. In the first Trump administration, they used countries like Guatemala to take in immigrants from countries who refused to take them back. In this case, Abrego had a 2019 order that he could not be sent back to El Salvador, and they violated that by sending him there in the first place. Now they've made agreements with countries across the world. We know they've reached out to a lot of places actively at war, including Ukraine, to see if they will take back immigrants from the United States who have previously gotten withholding removal orders that don't allow them to be sent back to their home countries out of fear of persecution. Now, because of the Supreme Court and because of lower courts as well, they have to give him 72 hours, or any immigrant who's sent to one of these countries, 72 hours to be able to appeal and say why they can't be sent to that country as well. The same thing happened when they tried to send more people back to Venezuela earlier. They need 72 hours, reasonable time to appeal that. And so in this case, they've chosen Uganda. What this means, though, is that his criminal case, all of these allegations they've brought against him, will possibly never resolve. And so, again, the government's going to have to come back to this position of take us at our word. This is a bad man who you don't want in the United States. The same thing they were saying when he was sent to El Salvador's CICAT prison, without us ever actually getting a jury decision, a judge to weigh in on these criminal allegations, to take a look at the evidence and decide whether or not this man is a criminal or whether or not he deserves to have asylum and stay in the United States. He could be sent to Uganda before that's ever resolved.
Yeah, and I said Uganda. I'm not sure why I said Uganda. I know it's Uganda. Thank you for also saying the right word there. I want to read the statement from the DOJ when sort of challenged on how they gave this guilty plea option, saying if you plead guilty, you do time, then get sent to Costa Rica. Otherwise, it's Uganda. And here's the statement from the DOJ. A federal grand jury has charged Abrego Garcia with serious federal crimes, including human trafficking and smuggling offenses, underscoring the clear danger this defendant presents to the community. This defendant can plead guilty and accept responsibility or stand trial before a jury. Sky, that last part there, he's trying to stand trial, but a different federal agency won't let him. Is it normal to deport an immigrant with charges rather than take it to trial?
Exactly. That's the shell game that you see this administration playing. They know it's deeply unpopular with the American people to deprive someone of their day in court. We are innocent until proven guilty in this country, and all people have rights. And so as a result of that, they're saying one thing and doing another. And you hear his lawyers today saying their simple request is that no deportation occur, no third-party country transfer occur until he can have his day in court. That's simply American. It's what we do in this country, and it's this administration that is operating really contrary to our values and our Constitution.
The other thing that's striking here, Julia, is the Uganda government and the agreement with this government is not supposed to cover immigrants with criminal records. So in the administration's own words, shouldn't Abrego be disqualified from going to Uganda?
Right. It's really hard to see how they'll have this both ways. If he is the criminal they say he is, how is this in agreement with that, with what they agreed to with Uganda? Each one of these third country agreements, and there are many of them, are very different. For example, Guatemala says they won't take people back for very long. It should be a stop before they go back to their home countries. Uganda said they didn't want to take people with criminal records. In this case, we haven't seen the conviction of the charges, so possibly that's a workaround. I'm not sure if that was a conversation they had with Uganda. Perhaps there was a carve-out made because he is such an exceptional piece for a piece of the puzzle, really, for the Trump administration as they try to make arguments about why people should be deported without trial. Perhaps there was a conversation there. What we're not clear about is why Uganda, why Abrego in this moment, but it is clear that they seek to deport him rapidly before he can exercise some of those other routes.
Okay, keep us posted. Gary Grumbach, Julia Ainsley, and Sky Perryman, appreciate your reporting and analysis.